as I've been traveling, I've had the opportunity to cross paths with a number of very cool, very interesting people who are out there to make their own mark on the world. One of those people is Mike Graziano, founder of Global Degree. So I came across Global Degree earlier this fall on Twitter, and my interest was immediately piqued by what they were doing. So Mike's going to share a bit more about Global Degree. Actually, you can go to globaldegree.tv to check it out. And he'll also share a little bit about how you can get your very own global degree. But let's just say he's gunning to visit every country in the world before he turns 30. And he's already over 60, so he's well on his way. And with that, let's hear more from Mike. So I have with me Mike Graziano, who is founder of Global Degree, a concept started in 2013, which, like a university degree, except you must visit every country to graduate. So it's really that idea that you can receive a real-world education governed by connections and experiences. Right now, Global Degree is actually looking for one person to join them for an all-expense-paid European leg of the tour, and you can check out more information on that at globaldegree.tv. All right, so welcome, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Well, hey, run me through everything. Tell me about you. Give me your background, who are you, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Sure. I was born in the States, and I lived in Canada my whole life, so I'm a dual citizen. And, I'm just your average everyday guy. Went to university in Canada, business school. And unfortunately, I didn't finish my degree, but I got a chance to go to an exchange in Denmark, and that was my first time I got exposed to traveling. And I got a chance to country hop. I went to 17 countries in 1 year because Europe's so small, and it was an amazing experience. It was my first time really getting this idea of traveling quickly and getting a lot out of your time. And I just kind of fell in love with that concept, and that's where I really started my passion for traveling.
So that's awesome. I mean, is that what also was the inspiration for Global Degree?
No, actually, that was just my first taste of it. And then I got home and I started my own business. We made light up T-shirts. We started an electronic T-shirt company, and I've always been an entrepreneur. And then I started working at a marketing job, and I started the whole 9-to-5 thing, and it just didn't really suit me well. It didn't feel good, even though I was making lots of money and I was, had lots of great friends, and it really was a great job. It just, I thought there's more out there, and I got a chance to go travel Thailand with some of my friends. Unfortunately, all of my friends bailed out. Their boss wouldn't let them, or they didn't have enough money, or their girlfriends wouldn't let them, or whatever happened. And so long story short, I went to Thailand on my own. And that was my first time really traveling solo. And I got a chance to do 3 weeks in Thailand, which was probably the greatest 3 weeks of my life. It really opened up my eyes to a couple things. Number one, it opened up my eyes to misconceptions. So you hear a lot of people who are kind of afraid of you traveling, and they say the world's dangerous, you're going to get robbed, you can't go on your own. And they just give you a lot of fearful things. And to be honest, I was afraid of even going. But I decided to go, and then I realized how many misconceptions there were. And the more people I talk to about this idea, the more they say, you think Thailand's cool, come to Vietnam. You think that's cool, come to Kenya, come to South Africa. Everyone's promoting their own countries, saying how great they were. So I asked the question, how deep does the rabbit hole go? How many misconceptions are in my mind that aren't actually real? And that's when I started this idea of potentially traveling everywhere. And the second thing was money. It costs more money for me to live in my hometown than it does for me to travel the world. I was spending more money as a ghost in Vancouver with cell phone payments, subscriptions, car payments, all of these things that I didn't necessarily need than I was living like a king in Thailand. And so that was a big change as well. And then the third and final one was I realized even though I'm traveling solo, I'm never actually alone. If you travel through hostels, before you even put your bags down, you have 10 new friends from all around the world, and you go on epic adventures with these people. And I found myself constantly, living every day as if it was my last, and just being in these incredible moments with these incredible people. And I realized I can travel every day for the rest of my life alone, and I will never actually be alone. I made more friends in those 3 weeks than I have ever. So these were three key things that kind of gave me a little bit of an awakening. And all of that came together, and I decided I'm going to go to every country in the world before I turn 30.
That's amazing. And so how is this now? So you've turned it into a bit of a business, though.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's a concept for sure. Yeah, I found a way to make money from it.
And so talk me through that, right? So you've had, you guys just finished up Asian leg of your tour. You had 2 people traveling with you. How did that work? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so it was just an idea, and I got an overwhelming amount of support. In fact, all of this started with a Facebook post and I got an overwhelming amount of support from all my friends. They were like, "You need to do this. This is your calling. This is made for you." And I thought to myself, well, how am I gonna make this work? So I put together the idea, called it Global Degree, with the concept you need to go to every country to graduate. And I went and found some sponsors. Hostel World is the #1 hostel search engine, and they're in 167 countries, and they're the booking company, and they're incredible. So I reached out to them, and they were very, very supportive of my goals and what I was trying to do. And they really supported everything. And then I reached out to Flight Center Canada, which once again, I told them what I'm trying to do, and they said they want to get behind it and help us out. And then we've also reached out to a music label to be us with music stuff called Monster Cat. They're giving us all of the music for our episodes. And I reached out to my Facebook page just saying I'm looking for someone to come travel with me and film the whole thing. And then a friend of a friend introduced me to a guy named Alex Hennessy. And me and Alex met up, and Alex had planned a trip of his own, and just thought this was an awesome idea and wanted to be a part of it. So he ended up, we met only once downtown in Vancouver, and he ended up quitting his job and subletting his apartment and traveling 2 continents with a guy he literally just met. And so he took a chance on the project, and it worked out great. He filmed the entire first season, and we traveled all of Central South America together.
Where can people view that at?
It's on our YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/globaldegreetv. We have about 20 episodes. We traveled from Belize all the way down to Panama, and then from Colombia all the way to Brazil. And we filmed every moment and made little bite-sized episodes for you to just check out where we stayed, what we did, what the experience was like, how much money we spent, and all these kind of important details.
So in South America, what went right and what didn't go so right? I mean, this was your guys' first, kind of, as you said, time traveling together, kind of proving out this concept. I'm sure there was a learning curve.
Yeah, what went right? A lot of things. It was a very smooth trip, and we're lucky that we had such an incredible experience together, even though we had just met. We went to incredible hostels and met people from all around the world, and we were doing these insane activities. We were just going with the flow, and that every traveler can experience and appreciate that concept. And we just had the cameras rolling, which was good for most of the time, and then it actually did help us in the end, but we had an issue in Buenos Aires, Argentina. In La Boca, Alex had the cameras rolling on a bike tour, and he actually got robbed at gunpoint, and it was all captured on film. And we went back to the hostel and looked it up on the GoPro, and it actually ended up being incredible footage. And we could tell it was going to be viral because we actually had a lineup of backpackers wanting to view the footage. So we knew it was going to go crazy online. And we decided to put it online just to identify the robber, but also just because it was a remarkable piece of footage. And it just blew up. It now is at about 10 million views online, and we had every news company in the world emailing us, asking for an interview with Alex, and it was a crazy time. And even though it wasn't really something that drives our mission forward, which is to promote travel, it actually did bring a lot of awareness to our campaign, what we're doing, and we did get quite a few new fans and supporters after that who want to be a part of what we're doing.
That is wild. Wow. So that was South America, and then you guys just dropped Asia, though, and you added Natalia to the team. Like, same question, like, what went well, what didn't go so well? Like, give me the recap of the Asia trip.
Yeah, so we met a girl who'd been to quite a few countries in Peru, and she was originally from Norway. And we realized how many girls have been to every country. And I went out into Google and searched, and I realized none have gone to every country in the world. And so I thought to myself, wow, here's a huge opportunity to get somebody to achieve a world record. Our idea was for her to be the youngest woman to do it, but after we contacted Guinness, they got back to us saying no one's ever done it on record. So we're like, holy crap, this is huge. This is the first woman to go to every country in the world, has not been achieved. This is a huge opportunity. So we talked to our sponsors, and our sponsors loved it, and so we created a contest looking for someone to join us. And Natalia won that contest. She's a incredible person and very relatable and down to earth. Once again, we only met her once before making the decision, but that's kind of the way it is. And she's also a professional photographer, so she had a bigger lens kit than we did, and she could take incredible photos. So we thought that was a great value add. And so we took Natalia with us, and we did all of Asia and Australia. So we did 24 countries this year. What went right? Everything. It was a very smooth trip, incredibly smooth, almost too smooth. Me and Alex were saying that we wanted to take more risks because everything was going perfectly. The only thing that did go wrong is Natalia ran out of pages on her passport. As much of a first world problem that is, or a global degree problem, she's stuck in Bali. There was no more pages left for her to continue traveling into Timor-Leste, so she was there for about a week. And Alex and I and Samantha, a friend of ours, continued traveling on. That was the only real issue we had in Asia.
Wow, you guys, that's really amazing. So what's your country count now? Like, how many countries are you up to?
I'm at 67 countries. I'm 26 years old. And I believe next year, I think I'm going to pass the 100 mark.
What's been your, so far at this point, right? A little more than, or not quite halfway, but close. What has been your favorite place to either visit, see, or live? Like, I guess that's like three questions in one, because...
yeah, those are three completely different questions. I would say my number one place to visit, I'm going to go for something like Mongolia. I'm going to say Mongolia because looking back on it, probably about half of our incredible photos of the entire trip were from Mongolia. It's just an amazing place, and not many people go there, but it is truly incredible. You get a chance to go into the middle of the Gobi Desert and live with these nomadic people who have nothing but gur, which is like a white tent that's their home, and a rifle and a motorbike and about 50 goats and some camels, and that's it. That's all they have, and they live and they exist on it. But more than that, they're happy people, and they're incredibly nice and caring, and just spending time with them was really remarkable. So a place to visit, you got to go to Mongolia. A place to live, I would say that's a tough one. Some really incredible places that I must go back to include Hong Kong. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very international city. You had a very wide range of people from all around the world, but everyone was there in good spirit, and it had a lot of energy. It really was a great place just to hang out, and I'd actually probably live there. Also, the Philippines. I really enjoyed the Philippines. Thailand, once again, it's now my fourth time in Thailand since 2 years ago, and it really is a remarkable place. It has it all, so I definitely recommend Thailand. And Australia. Australia actually took me by surprise. I didn't think I was going to be that interested in it, but we just had the most jam-packed 3 weeks, probably of my life, where we were up at 4 a.m. every morning, and we went to bed at midnight every night, and we were just jam-packed things to do. And we had incredible companies that we worked with to do it. So that actually ended up being a very special country for me.
Yeah, on a personal note, I just got back from Australia and totally fell in love with it and did not see it coming. And yeah. I thought it was going to be I'm from Southern California. I thought it was going to be just like that. And it was so different for me. What about seeing? Meaning if you just had to come and just not even spend time somewhere, just see something and leave, what would be your city to see?
See something and leave. North Korea was interesting. That's something to see. We went just to the border, the demilitarized zone, or the GMZ. We did a trip called the Conference Room Tour. And what happens is they take you all the way up to the DMZ on a bus, and then they put you into a room and play a movie for you showing the history of the war and all that. And then you have to sign a contract and an agreement. And the first sentence on the agreement says, "In the act of war, we are not liable for your death." And in other words, you're signing your life away. And so you got to sign that, and then when you go forward, and they take you to the UN kind of barracks, and there are these blue buildings with the UN security guards there, and they're iconic. I'm sure you've seen them before. And inside, you have this incredibly large mahogany wood conference table, and exactly halfway down the table is South Korea, and on the other half is North Korea. And the reason they do that is because in the act of peace talks, both countries are in their sovereign states. And so we just went onto their side of the table and took a couple photos with the UN guards. But it was an eerie feeling. It was interesting, and it's something you have to just go and see.
Oh man, I bet. What are your golden rules for traveling?
Golden rules for traveling. I would say be personable and be friendly everywhere you go. Make friends with the locals, even if they don't speak English. Just use sign language. Make friends with people in the hostel. Make friends with people who may not be the most social. Just always connect with everyone around you. I feel every time you ignore someone purposely, you're taking a step back as a human, and every time you're connecting with a person, you're taking a step forward as a human. And you kind of enter this wanderlust while you're traveling, and it's all about connection. So for that reason, I'd say maximize your connections, because I think every person has a secret that they can teach you to your own life, and you can probably teach them to theirs. So that would be my number one. Number two, you got to go to hostels. Hostels are the only way to do it. We stayed at a couple of beautiful hotels, which really were nice because we didn't have hostel options. But in the end, I travel to meet people. And as nice as these hotels are, I want to just, if there's nobody there, what's the point, right? So stay at hostels. Even Hostel World will show you the best of the hostels that you can stay at, and you can see photos and reviews and just, go that way. That's the best way to do it. Pack light. Don't be lugging around everything you need around the world or around the continent. You really don't need that much. You need a couple clothes. You need your toiletries and any basic necessities. A couple electronics just to keep you going, and that's really it. And yeah, just live simply, live happy, and again, connect with everyone that you can, because when you come back, you're going to really reflect on all that stuff.
When you get into a new city, what are the first things you do to settle, to orient yourself, just to generally get your bearings? Yeah,
so the first thing we do is we arrive at the hostel. That's our home base. We make some friends there. If there's a tour desk, we go and talk to the tour desk and make a plan for the following days. If there's some food nearby, we'll go and grab some food and just kind of talk amongst ourselves about what we want to do and see, the timeline we have, and then sometimes we'll get on the phone and call some local tour companies and again explain the project and what we're trying to do and see if they have something available for us. And yeah, that's really it. It's not too complicated. Just showing up to the hostel. Again, you're going to have 10 new friends hanging out with you, so you'll get settled in no time, and then you're good to go. Just go and experience as much as you can in the days, and at nighttime, if there's any nightlife going on, experience that too, and just either sleep on the trains or planes or sleep when you're dead. There's not much sleep going on.
What are the one or two items like you always have with you? And it sounds like the recording equipment is obviously a vital part of what you guys are doing. But like for you personally, what are the things that you always bring with you when you travel?
Yeah, obviously we're bringing all of our electronics just because we're trying to record this entire thing and kind of share it as well. So that's kind of our connection to the world. We don't really abuse it. We're trying to avoid just hanging out on Facebook and doing nothing as much as possible. We just use it to upload our content and record our content, and yeah, of course, go online and share our content, which is our job. So bring your electronics. Not too much else. I mean, I'm really simplistic. I mean, I need to brush my teeth. I need to change into relatively fresh clothes. And even that is a push. And comfortable shoes if you're going to go hiking or rock climbing or something. But that's really it. All I need is my laptop and some clothes, and I'm good to go.
Do you know what is going to be your 196th country? Do you know what? Are you saving one country for last?
Yeah, it's 193 at the moment. That could change pretty quick. We're going to do 195 just to be safe, but I think it's going to be South Africa of all places. So I'm thinking we have a party in Johannesburg in 2019. That's the plan.
So people who are thinking about throwing their name in the hat for the European leg of the tour, I guess, for the 2016 Global Degree Contest, like what are you looking for, and who's really like best suited to kind of undertake this with you guys?
Yeah, so obviously we're going to Europe in 2016, and I thought that was the most marketable continent in the world. Everyone wants to go to Europe, so why not do one more contest? And we're just looking. It's pretty open. We don't really know what we're looking for. We just know when we see someone with it, we're going to recognize it. We're looking for someone who's either great in front of the camera with an electric personality, energetic, well-spoken, and just an awesome person to be hanging around and to film. Or there's someone in the back end with maybe videography skills, editing skills, writing skills, PR skills, marketing, editing, all the things that go into a production. That's obviously valuable as well. But then you have just someone who's passionate about traveling. If they have a really unique story, maybe they've never left their country before, and they've always had this dream of what the world is going to be like and how they want to get out there. If somebody captures our heart, there's nothing stopping us from selecting that person. So it really is completely open. I would just say people, if anyone's considering applying to this, to just be themselves, to be creative, to be passionate, to show how much they love travel, and then just go from there. Just the biggest issue for people is that they're not taking the leap, and we need people to just put themselves out there, because they very much could win this thing, and they need to first believe it, and then they need to go and do it. So,
and to apply, what do they need to submit?
Yeah, they just send us a video, 2 to 3 minutes. They can either point their smartphone at their face, or they can get a friend to do it, or they can use a high-end camera. It doesn't matter. We're not looking for the production quality. If people want to show off their skills, by all means, but It's completely open-ended, and all we want is a 2 to 3 minute video from people saying why they want to get their global degree and go to every country in the world, and how they could help or benefit our team.
That sounds easy enough. So,
it is.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, the global degree concept was, it just started with a Facebook post 2 years ago, and now it's grown into something pretty special. And the next plan for us is to create a curriculum. We're going to try and get some banks to finance us and give us student loans, because we argue that traveling the entire world is a form of education in today's society. If you have 2 kids who have just finished with their degree and sitting at an employer's desk, one of them graduated with an undergrad in business or political science or philosophy or whatever, but they've never left their hometown. And then on the other side of the table, you have a kid who's the same age, who's been to every country in the world, and he can speak 22 languages, and he is very passionate about this subject. Which person are companies going to choose? Which one's going to add more value? And I make the argument that the global degree applicant has value and validity. And for that reason, we're going to create a curriculum for people to go and do this. So instead of asking a kid what do they want to major in, we're going to ask them, how do they want to change the world? And based on their answer, we're going to create a trip around the world, every country, for the same price and in the same amount of time as a traditional university degree. And that's our plan moving forward.
That sounds awesome, and I couldn't agree more with you. Again, you guys can go to globaldegree.tv to find out more information. And Mike, it sounds like you have a hell of a 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 ahead of you. So I can't wait to see who makes the cut for next year. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks again. All right.